What's up, YouTube? Bay Area Baller 18 back again. I'm here with my man, Jeff Hardison. Jeff, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, man. We're getting ready for this draft coming up, and I'm getting pumped about it. How about you?
It's such an exciting time of the year. You know, we got the third pick. There's a lot of action. It's like, I want the draft to just be here, but we still got a couple more weeks of speculation here.
Oh, it's speculation season, man. That's the season right now, man. It's what we got to do. That's all we can do is speculate. We're just trying to guess what's going on in old Kyle and John's minds, man. And it's couldn't be more fun.
And that's what we're doing today. We're going to describe our perfect 49ers draft, starting with pick 3. Jeff, who you got in your perfect draft? Pick 3.
All right. So this is under the assumption that, of course, Trevor Lawrence going number 1 and Zach Wilson going number 2. My number 3 overall pick is going to be Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State. Yeah, man. So with all the Mac Jones talk going on right now, here's my take. You can't trade 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick for Mac Jones. I think that the 49ers priced themselves out of the Mac Jones conversation. There's an analogy I have for this, right? So let's say your buddy says that he bought a new truck, right? He bought a Ford F-150. Nothing wrong with that truck at all, right? So he's rapping about it, he's going with it, and then you're close, so he tells you how much he spent. He goes, I spent $100,000 on this truck. And you're going, what? You spent $100,000 on it. Now it's not so nice anymore. And that's the same situation I feel like the 49ers are in with Mac Jones. There's nothing. I like Mac Jones. I've talked to you about Mac Jones. I've talked to all my friends about Mac Jones. I've been a Mac Jones guy for a while, but I thought it was rich at number 12 overall. But now we're talking about not just number 3 overall, but we're talking about we took 3 first-round picks to get there, and now we're going to take Jones. If you're moving up this far in this draft, if you're giving up that match capital, you need the guy with the elite upside. And the last time we were talking about our quarterback rankings, we talked about Justin Fields. And at the time, I had Jones ranked one spot ahead of Fields. And I still do have that ranking. I think that still holds true, maybe where they're at right at this moment. But Fields by far has the higher upsides. If you're looking for the elite NFL quarterback, the modern quarterback, that mold, it's Fields all day. He really has to be the pick. The other option, of course, is Lance, and I feel like he's more of a project. I think it's when you get down to this, don't overthink it. Take Fields. What do you think?
You know what? I really liked your analogy, and I'm on the same boat with you because I liked Mac at 12. Like Mac at 12, I was cool with. And now when you jump up to 3, it feels rich to take Mac at 3.
It does. It does.
Right.
It feels really rich. So yeah, it's it'd be a hard pill to swallow because really, I mean, you could have potentially just traded up to the Eagles at number 7 if you really wanted to get Mac Jones and not giving up so much. So it leads me to believe that they're not targeting him, and that's kind of a smokescreen, if you will.
All right, that leads me to my pick at 3, Jeff.
All right.
And you know, we say it's our perfect Niner draft. I want to get this one right. So I'm going Mac Jones because that's who I think it's going to be. That's who I think it's going to be, Jeff.
So let's delete everything I just said.
No, that's all good. What I'm going off is Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter is the most respected reporter in football, in my opinion. And he was on a podcast just this week, and the podcast host asked him, Schefter, what's going on at 3? No hesitation. It'll be Mac Jones.
Wow.
So when Schefter sounds that confident, I feel like I have to read what he's putting out there. And that's what I think the pick's going to be. And it's Adam's fault.
Well, you can send your hate mail to Adam Schefter for sure.
That's right. Yeah. Let's move to pick 2. It's the 43rd pick in the second round. The 43rd pick of the draft, the second round. Who do you got?
Okay, so I'm looking for the secondary here. So we're going to hit the secondary hard in this draft. We neglected it completely last year. We're going to have to make up some ground this year. And so we're going to spend the 43rd overall pick on Eric Stokes out of Georgia. So there's some debate. He's a burner. There's some debate, who's the better corner, because you got Campbell and you got Stokes. I like Stokes. I think he has better physical tools. He's, just ran a 4.25 at his pro day. And I like him better on tape. I'm sorry. I know. I think that he's overall a better cover corner. I think he has the size and speed to be able to match up with DeAndre Hopkins and the other big receivers that we have in our division. You need somebody that can match up man to man with those guys while you play a combination of zone in the other parts of the field. So you still need that guy. And I think Eric Stokes could definitely develop into that guy. Is he that right now? No, he's not. But the fact that you have Jason Verrett and you have Mosley coming back on a 2-year deal, I think it gives you a little bit of luxury of taking a guy with a little more tools and upside, develop them up, and it can see what you can get. And we've been shown we can develop some corners over in San Francisco. And I'd love to see that ball of clay in-house over at Santa Clara.
I love the pick. And we're on the same page because I'm going corner too. I have the 49ers selecting Greg Newsome out of Northwestern.
Yes.
And what I like about Newsome is he's got a blend of physical traits and coverage skills, right?
Yes.
He's 6 foot. He ran a 4.37, which is a good time. Like I said, I love his coverage skills, his change of direction. And in 6 games this year, on 34 targets, he allowed 12 catches for 93 yards. So he was exceptional this year. Northwestern had a really good defense, but he's got sticky coverage. That'd be a great pick in round 2 for the Niners.
He is a great coverage guy, and his coaches rave about him as well. So, I mean, that's a fine pick. Absolutely. And you're really satisfying a truly a need at the position. So, no problem there. He's a hell of a player.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's move to round 3. We have a pick at the end of round 3. It's number 102.
Yes. 102.
And yes. Who do you have the Niners picking in the 3rd round?
So I'm swinging for the fences a little bit on this one at the end of the 3rd round. I'm going for Richie Grant, safety at a UCF. So he is a sleeper prospect if you ever saw one. What I love about him here is he is that rangy, free safety type of guy. He would excel in single high coverage, press man. So if we want to ever do that type of stuff, which we need to do within our division, a lot of times we have to go press man in those situations. So having a guy like Richie Grant is almost said Richie James. But having a guy like Richie Grant really could benefit you there. I love the fact that he's a rangy free safety. He can go from sideline to sideline. He's not really going to do too much for you in run support. He's a willing tackler, but he's not a great tackler. So he's not a strong safety. He's not going to come up into the box, but I love what he can do for you in coverage. And we need to find a way to get a little bit cheaper in our secondary, because we're re-signing Tart, and that's starting to get pricey with us. So we need to be able to develop some guys in-house that can really that can sit on top of the defense. And I think he's a guy that can really fits that bill in the top of the 3rd round.
Absolutely, yes. I've checked out Grant, and I think he's versatile. I think he's a versatile safety, kind of jack of all trades. I think he can bring everything. I kind of liked him in the run. I thought he was okay. He's a
willing tackler. He's not a guy. He's undersized. So, he's
not a thumper.
He's about 190 pounds. You don't want him in there. So you're just going to end up getting him hurt in the NFL. So you really want to make sure that you find the player and put him to his forte. His forte is going to be coverage, deep coverage. And so I wouldn't feel comfortable putting him purposefully into the mix. I mean, he can come down. He could do a blitz here and there. He's a willing tackler, which is great. You need that type of guy in your secondary, but it's not somebody that I would want to, that's not his strongest suit, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who I got us drafting in the 3rd round is an offensive lineman. He's an interior guy.
Ooh, okay.
Quinn Meaners.
Okay.
Yes, out of Wisconsin Whitewater. This guy's a small school guy, D3. Mm-hmm. And when you're evaluating D3 guys or smaller school guys, you need to see domination. You need to see him dominate. And that's what Meaners does. Jeff, I watched this guy's tape. This guy is just pancaking. He's just throwing guys down. Linebackers, safeties, doesn't matter who it is. Wisconsin Whitewater, they are dominant on the ground. So they really didn't throw the ball a ton. So it was hard to find a lot of pass blocking reps. But this guy was dominant in the run. He's 6'3", 320 pounds, and he can move. And I know Shanahan loves offensive linemen that can move, get to the second level. He got invited to the Senior Bowl, right? Wisconsin Whitewater, they had a COVID season. It was canceled. So, but he still got the invite to the Senior Bowl. So this was his chance to show out. And when they called him, they said, hey, Quinn, we want to invite you to the Senior Bowl, but the position that's open is center. And he hadn't been a center. He's a guard, right? Well, this guy practiced, playing center and snapping the ball, looked great at the Senior Bowl. And Jeff, while I was doing my research for this video, I came across this guy Quinn Meaner's workout video. He's in the middle of a forest in Canada, bench pressing. He's lifting logs and running up hills with logs. It was an insane workout. I'm sold. Get this guy on the Niners.
You know what? I love that pick. And he's a guy specifically that I've been looking at. I didn't have a way to be able to squeeze him in here, but I absolutely love the pick. And I love the fact that you're bringing somebody in that can help with the interior of the offensive line, somebody that could develop and take over potentially the right guard position or eventually the center position as well, as you mentioned. So I absolutely love that pick. I'm definitely an advocate for adding talented offensive linemen like that at any point in the draft. And this is a great spot for it. So I'm on board.
Yeah, his stock, originally I thought maybe 4th, 5th round, but his stock's been on the rise. I think a lot of people like this guy. So at the end of the 3rd, let's get him.
And I love to see a competitor as well, somebody that's just like, you know what, even though it's not my position, I'll figure it out. I'm still going to go. I'm going to show people what I got. I love seeing that in a guy because you're going to get that out of him when you bring him into camp.
Absolutely. Let's move to round 4. Pick 117 in the 4th round.
Yes.
Who you got?
All right. So you're going to see a trend here with you and I here. So I have 2 picks. One is what we probably could get, and one is my want to get. So it'd be great if this other individual fell to us. So first off, Dan Moore, offensive tackle out of Texas A&M. I think he could potentially play right tackle. That's what people are kind of hoping he could do. But I really think that he could come in, kick inside, and play guard for us. He's the type of guy, he's a very physical run blocker. He has the ability to get to the second level. And you know what? He's not half bad at all in pass protection as well. So I really do think that from day one coming in his rookie season, he could push Brunskill for that right guard position right off of the bat. And at the minimum, provide some great depth. He's a bigger guy. He's 6'5", 320 pounds. So he's a real big dude. And that's kind of what you want, I feel, at the right guard position. He has quick feet for a guy that's that size as well. So I really would love to see that pick. But going to the want in this position is Dylan Radunes, offensive tackle from North Dakota State. Now, I have a feeling his draft stock's really been on the rise.
Staley was working out with that guy. I heard Staley was working out with him.
Yes. So I have a feeling that he's going to end up being more of an early round 3 kind of guy. Originally, he was used more of a 5th round kind of guy, but now it's looking like maybe he's going to go a little bit higher. It'd be great if he fell to us because a lot of these guys might fall to you because you hear a guy like that and you're like, in the 4th
he didn't
round.
play football this year. He didn't play
exactly. He didn't play football this year, and so normally to get value at these different picks, you got to pick an injured guy. You got to find the Trent Baalke ACL club.
No more, please.
Yeah. I made sure I did not pick ACLs in here. I was like, this guy, if you got an ACL, I don't want you. That's PTSD right there. But I love this guy right here. So he's an undersized guy, very quick feet. What I really like about him is I see a lot of potential for him to play right tackle. And the concerns with McGlinchey and is he going to take the next step or not, having a guy like that in the wings and to develop could really benefit us as well. If we need to move on from McGlinchey at some point because he's just not performing at a level that's suiting to Justin Fields,
Yeah, hopefully McGlinchey has found a buffet somewhere that's open and with a weight room. That'd be great. Just stay there
that'd be
for
great.
the next 4 months.
Yeah, that'd be great. Less cardio, more power, Yeah,
exactly.
that would be great. Yeah.
I'm excited about this 4th round pick I got.
All right.
And this is a hybrid running back receiver, Demetric Felton from UCLA.
Yes.
This guy, he's played receiver at UCLA. This past season, he was a running back. And what I like about Felton is he's decisive. He cuts it upfield. He sticks his foot in the ground. He's not dancing behind the line of scrimmage, tiptoeing. He hits the hole. And this guy can be what Jerick McKinnon was supposed to be in the offense, because he's a phenomenal route runner and pass catcher. At the Senior Bowl, during the one-on-ones with the receivers in the corners, this guy was running routes like a receiver, burning DBs all over the place. That's where he grabbed my attention.
It's a great fit with Kyle and what he wants to do.
Absolutely, because he's done it before. Jalen Hurd, right? Debo's got a rushing element to him. So absolutely. Shanahan loves these versatile guys, and that's why I can see Demetric Felton as a special fit with Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, I definitely see the fit and the types of players that he looks for. He loves to be able to have the versatility of having a running back and then motion him into the slot and do different things with him like that. So definitely a player that has that capability for sure.
Yeah, just creating
Swiss Army knife.
Hey, Jeff, we got breaking news.
We have our first trade of the night.
We have a trade. The 49ers have traded pick 155 and pick 172. Those are 5th round picks to move back up into the 4th round. We traded 2 5s to get back into the 4th round, and we're taking receiver Austin Watkins.
Ooh, there you go.
Yes, Austin Watkins. This guy's 6'3", and when I'm watching him, Jeff, this guy was reminding me of Josh Gordon, like a young Josh Gordon before he fell off the Richters. Right. This guy's 6'3", and he's a downfield threat. He's physical. And I think, with a quarterback that can throw the ball down the field, if it's Fields, if it's Lance with his cannon, or if this is a guy who you're going to be able to exploit down the field.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. No, you're definitely looking for guys that are bigger receivers, physical down the field, and can actually stretch out the offense. Because I have a sneaking suspicion that that's really something that Kyle wants, is to be able to stretch the field vertically and get away from the Jimmy Gimmies and be able to bring a little bit of the Atlanta offense into it, because Ryan could push the ball down the field, and he wants to bring that into play.
Jeff, you read my mind, because I went back and I watched that. I believe it was the 2016 year where Matt Ryan was the MVP with Kyle Shanahan. And I went back and I watched it. There was a ton more shots down the field. And we know that the reason that we're not taking shots right now is because it's not Jimmy's strength. That's just not what he does.
Right. And, we've had offensive line issues as well. So the protection's been a little bit suspect, and you have a quarterback that's a little bit skittish in the pocket, doesn't like the tight pocket. It's all not conducive to be able to push the ball down the field. So you're kind of stuck to your zone run, your jet sweeps, and then your slants and quick outs and things of that nature. So I love it. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely a priority for the 49ers to bring different players that are going to fit that skill set to be able to stretch the field vertically, because they stretched it very well horizontally, but the next step in the evolution of the offense to take it to the next level, it's got to go up. So finding different players that fit that is definitely a priority.
I agree. We're moving to round 5, where I only have 1 pick in round 5 because I traded 2 to go up. You got 3 picks in the 5th round, Jeff.
I got 3 picks. Here. So first pick here, I'm going to go with Larry Rountree. He's running back out of Missouri. I really like this guy. He absolutely jumps off of the tape. Very physical runner. I think that we're looking for that. A guy that has a little more physicality in between the tackles. I know that we love to run the zone outside, but I think that Kyle also likes to run the zone inside. You've seen situations, even in the Super Bowl that we were in, where he was trying to run the ball inside and just couldn't do it. We just didn't have the horses at the time to be able to pull that off. This is a guy that's going to be able to pull that off. He has a guy, he's very physical. He has actually some pretty good receiving ability. And I think he's a guy overall, he's that more of a bell cow kind of a 3-down guy. And I have a feeling with them potentially looking into Najee Harris and kind of floating that around, that maybe they're looking for a guy like this to bring into the fold, and then have guys like Mostert and Wilson as some of the reserves. And I would love to be able to get this guy in the building. He really is an impressive athlete.
I'm going to have to check him out. I don't think I've seen his tape yet. So that's something that I'm going to keep my eye on. And you got 2 more picks in the
Let's just keep
round,
it going.
Jeff.
Yeah, we'll keep it going here. This guy I'm really excited about. If he landed here at 172, it would be, I mean, I might do a backflip off my porch and break my neck. We'll see. But Ellerson Smith, defensive end out of Northern Iowa. Okay. This guy is a physical specimen. Absolutely physical specimen. This guy is 6'2", 260 pounds. I got to read you some of these stats from his pro day. I wrote these down. I just have to. I'm going to have to sit here and read it off this piece of paper here. But it just blew my mind. This guy, heard his size, 41 and a half inch vert.
That's crazy hops.
10 foot 7 inch broad jump, 4.7 40 and 26 reps on the bench. He's an incredible athlete. Very productive though. He didn't play in 2020 because they canceled his season though. But he had a very productive 2019. He had that nice arc that you look for in a player where they every year get a little bit more productive. So I love to see that. I mean, in 2019 had 14 sacks, over 20 tackles for loss.
14 sacks?
He's a monster. He's a monster, and no one is talking about this guy. Absolutely no one is talking about him. Nobody hears about him. And I don't hear about anybody talking about him, which makes me think maybe he might be there at 172. It's actually possible. And if you manage to get that, I mean, that could honestly be the steal of the draft. This is a guy that could be a rotational pass rusher right off the bat. Just third down, pin your ears back and go get him. But he could definitely progress into being a 3-down starter down the road. And with, losing some potential people, outside of Bosa, we're going to need to have some depth there. So I love that pick there.
Absolutely. You can never add too much depth to the D-line.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm trying not to do it in the top 40 like we've always done the last several years, and just let's add some other guys and coach them up and with some raw abilities and talents. And that's definitely what this guy has in spades. So it'd be awesome to be able to have him.
Shoot. I mean, I can't say I've seen him, but right after this, I'm going to load up the tape and see what he's got.
Yeah. Check
you
him
got
out.
one more pick. You got one more pick, right?
Yeah, I got one more here. So kind of going with some of your big receiver type of stuff. So I'm going to go with a guy that we actually just had a meeting with, Jacob Harris, wide receiver / tight end hybrid out of UCF. So he's 6'5", 220 pounds. Man, does he have some ability? He's a freak. He's a red zone target. He's a third down target. I have a feeling that he could potentially be a Jalen Hurd replacement, given that Jalen Hurd, he's never gotten the field. I love the guy. I want to see him. He's dripping with talent. I'm on board with seeing him, but he just can't get on the field and he can't stay healthy. And I have a feeling that they're looking for that. They want the big slot, not just the quick shifty guy. They're looking for the big slot to be able to bring into red zone packages. So I think that he could potentially really fit that mold. And this is a great spot for him at the end of the 5th round.
It sounds like a guy who could be the Jordan Reed replacement.
Yes. Yeah. That second tight end, that second guy that, in the red zone situations to be able to have a big target to be able to hit. And because that's really what he shines the most, is being physical and being a big target in the red zone.
Nice. Let me tell you my 5th round pick. I only got one, and he's a Bay Area boy. I'm a Bay Area baller.
There it is.
I love to watch the Bay Area kids. This is a Cal product, and it's Cameron Bynum. He's a corner, right? His 40-yard dash was a 4.5, so that's kind of the knock on him. He's not a blazer, but he's got sticky coverage. So at this point of the draft, you're looking for good football players. You know, you're not going to get players with phenomenal tape and superstar traits, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. But this guy, he's a football player, and I think he can fit. We need to add depth to the secondary, and Cameron Bynum, I think he'd be a great fit.
I love that you're doubling up on the secondary there, and really strengthening that position. It was something even I debated about in my list, as far as, man, should I really add another corner? And I really struggled with that, and I definitely wouldn't argue against it, you know. And at this point in the draft, this is when Richard Sherman came off the board, you know, however many years back. So, you know, if you don't have to necessarily be a supreme athlete, because Richard Sherman isn't, but he's a very intelligent football player and he has incredible instincts. So being able to take guys like that, to have that sticky coverage at this point in the draft, is definitely a win.
Round 6.
Round 6. All right. I have Anthony Hines, outside linebacker from Texas A&M. 6'2", 230. Man, he is a freak athlete. So if he can't start for us, which I don't think he would year one, hell of a special teams player. Hell of a special teams player. This guy is going to, you put this guy on punt return or just punt. Hopefully we're not punting too much this year. But kickoff, things like that. Yeah, absolutely. Something where he can go down and just with his hair on fire and light somebody up. This is a guy that could be able to do that. So I would be really excited to be able to bring him in the building and develop this type of talent right here as well. So somebody I really got excited about. He really is a sideline to sideline type of guy. Play primarily at will at Texas A&M, and he could really develop over the next few years.
Hey, love to hear it. I got a name you're going to recognize. You're going to recognize the name, or at least you should, Jeff. Troy Warner.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, this is Fred's brother. He's a safety. He's not quite as big. He's 6 foot, maybe 6'1". And if he's anything like Fred, then you know he's got the brain and the determination and the work ethic. And in the 6th round, it's like, why not? You know, the camaraderie with him and his brother, they might have, you know, some keen awareness between the two. And Fred actually at the Pro Day, he came out and said, of course, Fred's trying to hype up his little bro, but he said, hey, he's the more talented football player between the two of us.
Dang.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what he
talk
said.
About an endorsement, you know, I mean, because you're talking about one of the best linebackers in the game. Yeah, shoot. I mean, Seattle did it a few years back with the Griffins, right?
That's right.
You know, so I'm on board. Yeah, absolutely. You know, being able to bring him in and stuff. Yeah. I mean, he's obviously they got something cooking over there.
Yeah,
as far as from athletic ability.
He had 2 interceptions this past year. Before that, there wasn't too much productivity on that end, but you'll love to see the 2 picks. He didn't participate, at least from what I looked up. I was trying to get some numbers from the Pro Day, but it didn't look like he ran a 40. So I think he's a guy who's going to slip a little bit, and we can link him up. I think it'd be great. All right, round 7, Jeff.
Round 7
pick of the draft. Make it count.
Round 7. I'm going Puka Williams. So
that's a great name. Phenomenal name.
That's what I mean. Really, I just looked at a list of guys and just picked the name, right? So, love what he can do with the football, though. Undersized guys, 5'9", about 175 pounds. So he's going to need to bulk up a little bit. He's a small, shifty guy. Really, he's the type of guy that could, be a little slot guy, catching that quick out. But really, I love it with as well as potentially what he could do for us on punt return and kick return as well. So he ran a 4.38 at his 40-yard dash at his Pro Day.
That's a good time.
It's a great time.
Yeah,
he's quick and fast, so he has them both. And being able to have a nice change of pace guy, shifty dude, small back at the very end of the draft like this. I mean, hey, why not? I think it's a great pick. But he might fall. I think normally he would have gone higher. But I mean, no 2020 last year. He actually ended up, his team played, but I guess he sat out because his mom got COVID and he was concerned about that. So he elected himself to sit out.
He opted out. There were a lot of opt-outs.
There were. So he was another opt-out, and I think it could hurt his draft stock. And you might be able to be, instead of picking him up as an undrafted free agent, you might be able to pick him up here.
Yeah, you know what? And we're on the same page because, Jeff, I mean, I can show you my notes. I wrote kick returner, punt returner. Where's it at right there?
There it is.
7th round. I don't got a name for you, but I know we need to improve the return game.
We do. Yeah.
Maybe Puku is that guy. Let's get Puku in here round 7 to help the return game.
Absolutely. We need to get somebody in there that can be a reliable returner for us and give us a little bit of production from the position. That'd be awesome.
Hey, Jeff, that's our perfect NFL 49ers draft.
That's it. That's it. You don't need to watch anything else. You heard it here. You already got it.
Hey, Jeff, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Follow my man, Jeff Hardison, on Twitter at the Jeff Hardison.
There.
Hey, Jeff, catch you next time.
All right. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, Jeff.
Cool.